Hello everyone, welcome back. There's a ton to cover this week, so let's just get to it. Okay, so it seems like the first thing they've done is add some new music to the login screen. One thing we'll notice throughout this video is there are several new custom skins the devs have created. It looks like they've added a little market with some meat and vegetables.
I hope everybody loves the floating corn too. We added a bunch of Jeffrey's weapons in too that he's been making all week.
Now, since the airship was the highlight of last week, I wanted to give you some new shots of the improvements they've made. It's got a new skin, it looks great.
I figured out finally why we're having performance issues, and now that we know what it is, we're going to address it. Let's see how many questions I don't want to answer this week. Okay, so first question comes from Saxophonist. If you were to integrate VR treadmill sport into the game, would your movement speed match the movement speed IRL, or would everyone be limited to universal speed regardless of sprinting / quick walking? I would imagine that if we do VR treadmill, that yes, if you run, you're going to be running as fast as we limit it to. Else it's just kind of, a $5,000 advantage over everybody else.
Anyone can just spend $5,000 now.
well, but I mean, but realistically, if you wanted to cheat, it's probably not hard to get the same front end that they use to emulate, the walking and everything. Because I think it just uses like joystick movement or something like that. I know the Catwalk VR does. Will there be a weight limit on equipable weapons? I don't know about weight, but we're definitely doing it by size. We're not doing it yet, but eventually we're looking at doing it by size, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, like there's a certain, like you can only carry a certain number of large weapons.
Yeah, we might implement weight. There could be some neat things to do with it, as long as it doesn't get too cumbersome.
Yeah. Will different races be sized differently? If so, how will this affect players' experience of shared areas like taverns?
I think the two different races that we have planned right now are two different styles. Oh, three different styles, I guess. But I think they're all just kind of like normal people size right now.
But we have talked about doing like some smaller races, some larger races. It's just all figuring out how it works exactly with equipping armor and, like you said, like the tavern. So, if we have like, I think in VR chat, there's like a race that's like a foot tall, a little character skin you can get. And it's fun. And it's like, oh man, this would be so cool to have an Ilysia. But then it's like, well, how do you get up on the counters?
Okay, and as you can see, they've added a new mob for all those arachnophobes out there. Enjoy the spiders. There's also a boss spider, as you can see. There's one more part with the spiders I want to show you, but I'm going to save that for the highlight of the week. And we've got new mounts. Looks like we've got a horse and the infamous chicken mount.
Yeah, Virtually Real asks, will the caravans teleport around or for travel, or will they move around?
Move around.
Yeah, our aim is moving around. Is all long distance travel from airships, or will certain players be able to create portals for travel to certain landmarks? I really don't want to say too much about that because some of it is part of, I don't know.
You'll see.
Standard, that's up to you.
Well, I'm going to say you'll see. We've already talked about we're doing multiple things. I'm sure we're going to test it publicly at some point. So
I'll say this: we don't want people to be able to teleport so much that it breaks the size of the world and it makes it feel really small, really fast. So we don't want that. obviously we're not trying to make it like a punishable thing or anything like that, but we just don't, we don't want you to be able to teleport from one side of the world to the other all the time. Like we've got a whole system set up for like what we want to do with that. But yes, there will also be airships and boats and caravans and land travel and stuff like that, and your mounts. So that there will be traveling in that. So yeah, there you go.
Traveling by pet.
Yeah, jump on some poor person's back and ride them into town. George asks, will skills be adjustable? As in, will it be possible, for instance, to use a skill tree and combine your ice and fire spells with your melee swing to add elemental damage or slow, etc.?
We've talked about allowing spells to imbue weapons, but we haven't fleshed that out yet.
Yeah, that's definitely a trying it out with you guys kind of a thing. Sourfinch asks, are Patreon items bound? Will they be tradable? Can we move them between our accounts, our other avatars? So they'll be for your account. I don't really see a reason to letting people trade it, because it's the whole point of the Patreon items is that it's a special thing that you get for backing us this early, and they won't be available ever again. So it'd be kind of, I really don't see a reason for us to allow them to be traded. To me, they'd be bound per account.
So it looks like they've added a bow to the game, and apparently you can actually shoot each other, not just mobs now. I don't know what's going on here, but since she tried to shoot me, I'm gonna go ahead and take that. Yeah, that's what you get.
Art, the bow is awesome.
Tell so that to Joe. Don't say it to me. I haven't even played with it yet. This is my first time messing with a bow. Oh, that's so cool. You just grab the string and you just pull back and shoot. Oh, this is so much cooler than I thought it was going to be. Sourfinch asks again, will we be able to level up / upgrade low-level items? Say we get a starter item and we want to keep it. Would it be possible to increase its stats? So I talked to Xander about this, and I said, one thing that I thought would be a cool idea would be allowing some sort of like low-level weapon upgrade. And it would just be a thing of where if you did it, it would just be expensive to do it, or it would take consuming something of like a decent level and able to do it. That way you can do it, but there's like a cost in it. Maybe giving your right arm.
Oh, my arrows aren't working and you're going to heal yourself? Well, let's take some of my storm I finally know how to do.
So Techie B asks, will I be able to make the mermaid my waifu? I love these questions so much. If so, will it be necessary to complete some quest first? And would we live underwater, or can I make her human so she can walk on dry land? I don't see any reason why you can't just put her in a giant plastic bag, just enough air, and you just put her on a stick and carry her around with you everywhere you go.
And since last week, I had to make sure and go visit the mermaid again to see if there's been any changes. And it looks like she's animated this time.
Can you speak on how in-depth blacksmithing will be at start and down the line plans? Any of the process or equipment needed? How progression is planned? We've kind of talked about blacksmith before. We've talked about, we do plan on having stuff like that, but we don't really want to go into exactly how it'll work just yet. That's kind of a proprietary thing for us right now. When we get to the point where we are comfortable talking about it, that's most likely going to be Kickstarter. When we can lay out our cards on the table, then we'll let everybody know about how that's going to work. Sourfinch asks, will importing a personal avatar like a custom one you bring to VR chat be considered in the future? It sounds like a fun idea to be able to travel from game to game using the same avatar. Unfortunately, no, because Ilysia has a certain look we're going for, and our character design is that same thing. We have a specific character design in mind, and we will be sticking to that character design as we go forward. Will the game support teleport for people who get motion sick, or will it only be sliding locomotion? Also, will we be able to jump? Yes, there will be teleport. We just haven't put it in yet because For testing, none of us use teleport really. But as we go on, yes, we'll get teleport put in. Somebody, I think it was actually Effery in one of the channels said, I thought Echo Arena made me immune to motion sickness. Guess not. So yeah, we definitely need to add something in at some point. I just can't really say when we'll do it, but yeah, we'll be getting it in at some point.
Yep.
I guess the reason why it wasn't a priority was because we hadn't planned on putting it in the Kickstarter video.
Yeah, we weren't really planning on it. I mean, it'll be there. It's like added locomotion options to me are just a given with a VR game. Like yes, we will give a lot of different options for motion sickness. We'll give the tunnels, the cages, whatever people. Basically, what are the top 5 things that people put in VR games keep people from getting motion sickness, and you can guarantee that they're going to be in there for us. George asks, will full body tracking be a thing, like the tracking pucks on the feet and the waist? So we've talked about this before. Our only big thing with this is that we're 1/3 of our market is PC VR. The other 2/3 is PlayStation VR and Quest. So. And neither one of those really allow for any sort of full body tracking right now. I know there's like all these different ways you can get around it, but when we think about this, we think about the masses and the majority of people that are coming to this, and most of them aren't going to use that. It doesn't mean we won't ever do it, but for launch, it's just not going to be a focus for us. Unless we get everything where we want it to and we say down the road, okay, cool, let's look into this, this, and this. Zoner 420 Blaze it asks, will there be a player house that you can buy and maybe even invite friends into? I don't know. That might still be a maybe, but I think it's a yes at this point that we're planning on player housing.
Yeah, we sold a player island.
Well, that's different than a house in town. I'm thinking about a house in town, and I think.
I mean, I think our plan for houses in town. Well, I won't reveal. We have plans for something like that. Last we talked. Yeah, I think we're good. It's going to fall in line with what other traditional MMOs have done. Effery asks, is there an opt out? Is there an opt out to having name written on tombstones? It's a Patreon benefit, but it's too creepy to see your character name on a tombstone or mausoleum. Maybe a tiny vandalism on a wood or tree would be preferable. So the reason we did the tombstone / mausoleum, there's actually a completely story-driven game reason why we chose to do that as a backer reward for people. It's not that it's like your character's name. It's a name that like you can give us if you want. It can be your name, it can be a family member's name, it can be a friend's name.
And one of my almost highlight of the week discoveries was this pond that I thought would be perfect for fishing. And when I mentioned that in the chat, one of the devs said, hint, hint. So I'm assuming that's probably what this may end up being.
Zombie apocalypse.
I had to take one more trip into the spider lair to test out one of the new weapons I liked. And it turns out, when you kill one of the spiders, they drop a chest. You can open it with your hand, and there's gold inside, so I thought this was really cool. And it was cool enough for me. I thought it would be a good highlight of the week, but I guess you could decide what you thought the best thing was. Let me know in the comments what you think the highlight was this week. And if you like these videos, hit the bell button so you can get notified every time I post new content.